here we are in the current brawl. It's 3 versus 3, and quite often you get quite an unusual setup between teams. I actually did just recently have a game where it was 3 BBs versus 3 cruisers. So yeah, it's sometimes not very balanced at all, but in this game I happen to be the only cruiser and there are 3 BBs. So obviously I am on the team with a GK and a St. Vincent, so 2 chunky ships, and my intention here to start off with is to get into the ACAP and then use my manoeuvrability and positioning to support the BBs. Now, what I've found is whenever there's a Schlieffen player, they always rush and usually die very quickly. Apart from that, it's kind of, as long as you've got all members of the team able to, maybe not immediately, but once an enemy is spotted, to start targeting and focusing down a single enemy, then you can usually do okay. What can sometimes happen is one ship goes off and just spends the first 5 minutes not really helping the other 2 ships, or trying to go out wide and be sneaky, and just doesn't have an opportunity to join the fight until the rest of the team is killed. So here obviously the GK on the enemy side is spotted. That was by me, so shots coming at it from friendlies who hopefully don't get spotted in return. Now we've got Mecklenburg and the GK are now both shooting, so St. Vincent is slowing down. Now we've got all 3 enemy on the board. So this means that I can now start looking for ways that I can get into position and help the fight. Now, I don't want to fire too early because as soon as I am on the board, guarantee they will come for me. So I am looking to get the cap, because that will give us an immediate advantage in terms of points. And also I want to get into a position where I can start shooting and not really receive anything in return if I can help it. And also I want to minimize the number of ships that can shoot back at me, so that Schlieffen, I could shoot him, he's in range, but that means that the Mecklenburg might be able to shoot back. But now that the Schlieffen has gone behind the island, I can shoot and not get spotted. So now I'm thinking if I can get in behind the island, I can get a fire on the Schlieffen. That's nice. If I can get in behind the island, I can have the GK as the only target that can shoot back at me, and I can really start putting some pressure on them. So I've got the cap, and now I'm going to start helping against the GK. So yeah, now obviously our GK is tucked in, hasn't pushed into sea yet. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but we'll see how it goes. Now obviously getting a fire on the GK, I just want to keep the pressure up, and if I can set another fire and get him to use his DCP, that would be great. Obviously because the Schlieffen is not spotted, I don't know whether he's going to be going outside or inside the big island that sits between A and B. So I'm keeping an eye on the map, just in case. At the moment I can just keep the pressure up on the GK, that's great. And that's getting him to back up, which gives our team hopefully an opportunity to maybe push in a little bit more. Now, Mecklenburg does have some shots on to RGK, and here comes the Schlieffen. Schlieffen, as usual, I always seem to do this. Because he's got torps, he thinks he can just push in really hard and not suffer the consequences. Now obviously the enemy GK has been pushed back, so I don't need to worry too much about him. So the only main concern here is the Schlieffen pushing me. They now know where I am, so I'm expecting the Schlieffen to try and come around the corner and get into position to shoot short my broadside and use his torpedoes. I am trying to position myself to keep the island in between me and him. So as I accelerate, the island is always stopping him from shooting but allowing me to shoot. And unfortunately, the Schlieffen is able to get around the corner quite easily and not really have too much ramifications. I'm now kind of worried about the Schlieffen shooting me and the Mecklenburg also having shots, so I'm turning out so that I can minimise the amount of damage the Schlieffen can do to me and to avoid torps, and then I should still be able to get some gunshots on him. There we go. Can now repair, and obviously that Mecklenburg, I don't know why he wasn't sitting there waiting for me to get around the corner to blap me. I have no idea what he was shooting at or whatever, but he's now decided to take a full shot at me, and because of my manoeuvrability I'm able to avoid the damage. Now GK is still sitting around the corner. I don't know why he's sitting around the corner. Well, because now the GK is against 2 BBs, so they should be pushing hard. They should be seeing that the Mecklenburg is being dragged out wide. The GK is now chasing me, so those 2 BBs should be pushing really hard. But St. Vincent is turning back in. He went really wide north for some reason. Obviously, it's probably the Schlieffen, but the Schlieffen wasn't going to be shooting at him, he was going to be shooting at me. So, yeah, I made a comment in chat like, come on guys, at some point you've got to realise what's going on in the map. So, at this point I'm fighting for my life. I'm manoeuvring, I'm changing speed, I'm changing directions. I am just trying to stay alive long enough so that these 2 BBs on my side can get in and join the fight, because any moment now the GK is going to come around the corner as well, and they're both going to be gunning for me, and I'm able to get another heal off. Good, gives me a little bit more time, gives my compatriots a little bit more time to move into position. I am now I'm looking for the fires. I'm looking to start fires. Fortunately this ship has good reload speed, and I just need to stay alive long enough. There we go, there's one fire. So if I can set more fires, that just means he'll burn down, and I can not worry too much about turning my guns. Obviously he's just fired, so I think I can turn in. And he's now changed the HE, which I don't mind. In Salem, that's not a problem because I can heal it all back. Set another fire. Good, good, good. So now I've got a really good advantage against Mecklenburg because he's realised, he's turning away now. He realises that this rabbit has a little bit more bite than he was expecting. So my goal here is just to stay alive and keep the fires burning if I can. Use my manoeuvrability. Yeah, I don't care about fire. That's fine. I'm just going to go dark now, which is why I put the fire out. I'm not worried about the damage so much as going dark. And hopefully I've dodged these enough, and he burns down. Good. That leaves the final battleship alone against the GK in St. Vincent. The GK on our team is... I suppose if you don't have to risk it, you don't bother. But at this stage, the problem is if the St. Vincent goes for him, then he's going to be isolated, and GK is not really doing much to help out here. So now the GK is going to get the brunt of the damage. Sorry, St. Vincent's going to get the brunt of the damage. Our GK is not really in a position to help. I can though, and so I am going to put out some shots, I believe. Yeah, put out some shots. At this stage, I don't care whether he shoots at me. I'm just trying to hopefully start a fire or do enough that he gets choice paralysis and doesn't know whether to go for me, fragile little cruiser, or continue trying to take out the bigger threat, which is St. Vincent. Looks like he's dithering about it. He's turning because I think he's going to bring his guns onto me at some point. But a torp is out, and I think a torp is going to land, is it? I think it does. Yeah, there we go. Torp lands. So, yeah, bearing in mind that it was 3-on-3, I did 160k damage, which is silly damage, really, and got 2 kills. Pretty nice score. I mean, the score's really close for some reason. I don't know, but anyway, the problem there was I was doing a lot of tanking, and in a cruiser I didn't really have to or didn't really need to. It's just, it's a brawl, it's a fight. You've got to put yourself in harm's way to do some damage. Preferably do it quickly if you're a BB as opposed to slowly like they did in this game. But a win's a win. Wasn't bad result and a good result for me. So there you go.